my friend? Can your heart stand the shocking facts about grave robbers from outer space?
Hi, I'm, oh, wait. There we go, that's better. Hello, I'm Bob Lebzelder, and this is my little homage to Goulardi. He was the late-night TV talk show host on WJW Channel 8 50 years ago. He utilized a kind of a low-tech effect by wearing outrageous wigs and fake mustaches and beards, and shined a light under his chin on his Friday night movie program. Now, Goulardi, whose real name was Ernie Anderson, and who for a time was a weekend disc jockey on WWOW in Conneaut, was not original as a late-night TV host of bad movies. He did, by the way, go on to be the voice of ABC television, announcing the Love Boat and MacGyver. But the person credited with blazing the trail for local late-night movie hosting was a curvaceous woman named Mailia Nurmi. More on Maila in a minute. But let me switch gears. Let's talk about Agnes Moorehead. Agnes Moorehead was born in Clinton, Massachusetts, and grew up in St. Louis. You may remember her as Endora, the 1960s TV Bewitched star who played the meddling mother-in-law. But she was also a star of what is considered to be the greatest film ever made, Citizen Kane. She played John Foster Kane's stern mother. Moorehead, as I just mentioned, grew up in St. Louis. She didn't grow up in Ashtabula, but she was the star of one of the greatest films ever made, Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. Now, on the other hand, we have Mailia Nurmi. She was actually born in Finland in 1921, but migrated with her family to the United States 2 years later. Her biggest claim to fame, she grew up to star in what is considered to be the worst film of all time, Plan 9 from Outer Space. But unlike that Best Actress star Agnes Moorehead, Maila did, in fact, live in Ashtabula. Her family moved here because it had the largest Finnish-American community in Ohio. She grew up in Ashtabula, moved to Oregon at age 17 in 1939. She later moved to Hollywood, where she modeled and made some movies. She was reportedly fired by Mae West, who feared she was being upstaged. Her career wasn't going so well, so she created a character in 1953 patterned after cartoonist Charles Addams' character, who became known as Morticia Addams. With her pale skin and tight black dress, she became one of the first late TV movie hosts on KABC in Los Angeles. She called herself Vampira. She also appeared in a comedy skit on The Red Skelton Show, showed up on Ed Sullivan and on Dark Shadows. She talked about her late night movie hosting.
The character Vampira, which my then husband had named, I had added from a B&D magazine, a bondage and discipline magazine at the time. I had taken a waist cincher and an uplift bra and fishnet hose, and I'd slit my dress, and I wore a patent leather belt, and I had a foot-long cigarette holder and long red fingernails, hemorrhage red. And so I added sex, to the death. I thought that's a good combination, sex and death. Hunt was delighted, and they put me on the air.
She was a great friend of James Dean. She visited him on the set of Rebel Without a Cause as Vampira. Her one unforgettable role was in the schlockish Plan 9 from Outer Space, directed by horrendous movie maker Ed Wood Jr., whose life was the topic of a 1994 movie directed by the more celebrated Tim Burton. Wood was known for working on a very tight budget, using papier-mâché for flying saucers and cardboard tombstones. The dialogue was awful.
You see? You see? Your stupid minds. Stupid! Stupid! That's all I'm taking from you. Get back here, you fool! Let him finish.
Plan 9 was about an attack from outer space where Earth's dead were brought back to life. A drug-addicted Bela Lugosi was to star, but after a few rushes were completed, he died. So Wood used his own chiropractor, a much younger and taller person, to fill in. Plan 9 was truly an inept film, badly written, badly filmed, with horrendous special effects. Nurmi had little nice to say about Ed Wood.
It was a birthday party for Bela Lugosi Jr. It was his 16th birthday, and there I met for the first time Mr. Edward D. Wood Jr. And while he didn't actually ask me at that time if I would work for him, I did encounter him in a small room with a few people, and I thought, this is a pathetic buffoon. You know, he's a man who doesn't even know his own shortcomings. Kind of sad. Pretty, but ineffectual and tragic.
Years later, she had little nice to say about the Ed Wood biography filmed by Burton. She was played in the movie by actress Lisa Marie. After Plan 9 came out, she acted in some bad movies like I Passed for White and Sex Kittens Go to College. Oh yes, and remember me talking about Orson Welles' classic good movie, Citizen Kane? Well, Maila had her connections with Orson as well, but unfortunately it wasn't in front of the camera.
But my first encounters with Orson were in New York when he was separated from Rita. Then he went back with Rita, and after he was divorcing her, he found me in San Francisco and again in Los Angeles. So that was quite a running relationship. But the first time that Orson saw me scantily clad in a boudoir, he said, "Magnificent carcass." I thought, what? Magnificent carcass indeed, in that marvelous voice of his. That's about all I have to say. I don't want to talk about his giving me clap or anything.
Vampira tried to revive her TV career, but instead Cassandra Peterson was hired to play Elvira, a Vampira knockoff, in 1981. Maila sued but lost the case. She started her own website and sold autographed memorabilia and original pieces of art. She lived in a small North Hollywood apartment the rest of her life. She died on January 10th, 2008, at the age of 86. But during her formative years, from ages 2 to 17, Vampira lived in Ashtabula, Ohio.
What I need is a Vampira cocktail to settle my nerves. It'll not only settle them, it will petrify. A Vampira cocktail. You like it? It hates you. I've had several letters asking whether olives or cherries should be used in making my cocktail. Well, actually, neither is necessary, since they'd only disintegrate upon being put into the cocktail. However, if you want to use some garnish, you can drop in an eyeball, if you happen to have an extra one around the house.